And I had spoken on the voice of greatness. You know, um, what shall you do? Adam and Eve created, they're placed in paradise. You're essentially in heaven. And weakness, greed, turned it into something less than heaven. The voice of God came walking through the garden one day. Adam, where are you? He said, man, we hid. I had to cover myself up with these fig leaves. I was ashamed. Who told you were naked? I was ashamed because I'm naked. Who told you were naked? What is woman you gave me? See, regardless of how you feel about the Bible or whatever, the premise in that story is so relevant. How interesting is it that the fall happened because a man failed to be a man? Now the voice of greatness comes and you're hiding from it. How many of you men created in the image and after the likeness of greatness are running from your vision, running from inspiration, running from your own gift? How ridiculous is that? Why? To please a woman? How intelligent is that? That doesn't even sound right. Here you are, you have been given a massive responsibility, which is the only reason she's there in the first place, because you have something to do. And she's there to make sure that you are in a position to do what you have to do in a great manner. You tend to your task and she tends to you. He could have easily, that narrative could have went another way. I hid because I was ashamed because I'm naked. Who told you that? This woman you gave me. Uh, so as men, the first mistake is listening to a woman tell you something that you already know. Adam had he received instructions. He knew. He knew they didn't have any business doing certain things. But she went and did it. And she presented it to him. See, the weakness in the world usually is presented through the weaker vessel. It is the man's responsibility to say, no, we're not going to do that. At the very least, I am not going to do that. But you are my wife. You are here with. No, we are not going to do that. That is not going down. All right, we start breaking the rules. Where does it start? Where does it stop? Where does it end? Now we out here running from our own potential. We have become ashamed to be who and what we were created to be. We need men to be men. That does not mean being mean. It means being a man. Why is it that we can't have these conversations without being apologetic? That was the coward hiding behind the tree, being apologetic. Why put yourself in such a position? Now, what you do, you compromise the kingdom. I got to make some adjustments on here. I really need to make these adjustments so our time is not interrupted. Got to do some things with this laptop. Um, you guys feast on that. I really need to do this because if I don't, it's going to cause a problem here very soon. And I don't want to get further along. But what I'll do, I'll stick a pin in this, and I'll do a continuation. But I need that I need that to pierce you. You know what needs to be done. You can continue to listen to that looks good to you and sounds good to you and feels good to you, maybe even smells good to you. But there is a price to pay. You don't pay a price for greatness. You pay a price for violating who you really are. You pay a price for failing to observe duty. That's when you pay a price. When the voice of greatness comes looking for you, what are you going to do? I have another video where I deal with this, but I wanted to take it a little further in another way this time, and that we will definitely do, because there is another call that happened with Lazarus when Jesus called Lazarus. Lazarus came forth. He ain't hide because he was already in a dead place, dead. There was nowhere to go. So which are you? You know, some of you, maybe paradise has messed you up, a easy life, or just, being comfortable, everything being handed to you, and that so-called heaven on earth like Adam and Eve were. Maybe that has made you soft. Maybe that has made you forget. Lazarus was in a dead place. He was wrapped up in a tomb, and it was covered. Jesus had to tell him to move the rock, move the stone. But when he called him, Lazarus came forth. So maybe it's going to take for you to die to this so-called paradise you got, because things are just too sweet for you right now. Issue is that you have to be able to maintain that sweetness. See, Adam wasn't man enough to maintain his paradise. He wasn't man enough. So that blessing turned into a burden for him and Eve. Lazarus came forth and he was dead. You got to die to all this madness. You got to die to it. I'm talking about dead and stinking to it. All of it. You are not infiltrated by opinions that are less than your greatness. How dare you allow yourself to be influenced by anything that is lesser than your greatness? And that doesn't mean that somebody making minimum wage can't tell you something. But if it's less than my greatness, I don't care if you're making $2 an hour or $2 billion an hour. If it's less than my greatness, I am really not interested. Eve, you have lost your mind. Not only am I going to say no, I am offended. I am completely insulted right now, and we about to get some act right. Sit down. Let me tell you something. Don't you ever in your life come over here. Now that's the attitude. That's not the approach I'm encouraging. But it has to be that kind of no nonsense attitude. No, a man needs to maintain his poise. Now there are some times where you may need to lose it. But I don't think Eve really needed that. Eve, he could have taken care of that to where, all of that isn't necessary. You let things get so far to where you have to go off, you failed somewhere. But your attitude has to be, no, you have lost your mind. Girl, sit down. Let me talk to you. The approach is, listen, we have already received instruction. We are already where we need to be. We are already in a place where we are producing. We are already in a place to where we're not wanting for anything. Now, what you're going to do, you are going to begin to sour this and decay this from the inside by not only entertaining this madness from whomever, but bringing it to me, some stranger, or maybe someone you knew. It doesn't matter, but someone who is not directly affiliated with maintaining our heaven is going to tell you to behave outside of your character, and you're going to have the audacity to come and suggest that to me? See, in her mind, she wasn't doing anything out of place. In her mind, she was not out of pocket. It was the man's place to instruct her and guide her properly. That's our job. We're the whistleblowers. We're the regulators. No, 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 dear. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to fuss with you about it. I don't have to call you out of your name about it. I don't have to raise my voice about it. We don't have to be, because we already have an agreement. So perhaps you need to be reminded of the parameters of this, because you about to mess up. Man has to be a man to have impact. I love you, team. Blessings.